16 minutes after 5 o'clock. This is the Drive Time News Hour. And after the KFGO News at 5:30 and then the CBS News Update, we'll do our normal market close. We have our stock market, the Wall Street numbers and the ag numbers at about 5:37 today here on KFGO. We're going to take a few moments to talk with Dr. Barbara Headrick, Professor, Political Science, MSUM. She's been a friend of KFGO and the Drive Time News for a good long time, and welcome back. Good to have you, Barbara.
It's always great to be on with you, Jack.
Well, we're going to call this this segment Caucus 101, but before we begin that, I would give you any opportunity you would like to take to revel in your Kansas City Chiefs football team.
Well, they've not played exceptionally well in a number of games this year, and it was good to see them play well in a playoff game. I'm still a bit doubtful about them heading back to the Super Bowl, but given how well they've treated us in recent years, I can't complain.
Well, all right. And good luck to you, because you're a fan. I'm rooting for them too. So, Caucus 101. What is a caucus?
Well, unlike a primary where people go in, they vote, they leave, at a caucus, this is actually a series of local meetings across the state. And North Dakota and Minnesota both do this for prior to the general primaries later in the spring or in the summer. And you go in Iowa and you demonstrate that you're in the right place. And then you sit and listen to people espouse for different candidates and talk about any other issues you'd like to. And then at some point you do make a presidential preference. And that is the beginning of the process for Iowa picking its delegates to in this case, the Republican primary.
Is that vote a secret vote on a ballot that's counted, or is it a raise of hands?
It's a secret vote on a piece of paper, I think, in Iowa. Mm-hmm. Some places may do it differently, but I do believe it is. Yes, you put that way. They have all the tabulations can be rechecked because they have the marked papers. Yes.
And is the Iowa caucus a big deal because it's the first one?
That's the only reason it's a big deal. Okay. It's the first time you have any actual voters in a presidential year of doing any sort of voting. If it was later in the year, it wouldn't matter. It only occasionally matters for the final winner. Back in 2016, Donald Trump didn't win. Ted Cruz didn't matter in the end. The last time it really mattered, I think, was 2008 with it became the first national stage for Barack Obama and his run for the presidency.
You know, just looking at the caucus system compared to the primary system, it seems that there would be more ability for flim-flammery on that kind of a loose thing than it is with the system to which we've grown to know and love.
It could be if you had people organized in a local area to try to do some flim-flammery, but most of the places you've got very honest, overwhelmingly honest people trying to do their best to get everybody's voices heard as they wish them to be heard. To rig elections, it takes a lot of effort and coordination with multiple people, and you usually still get caught even if you're just doing it on a very small scale.
I think you've answered this, but do all states caucus in one way or another?
No.
Okay.
No, some don't hold any sort of caucuses. Some just have the primary, and that's it. Other states like Minnesota has both. You have in fact, Minnesota and North Dakota both have at least I believe in one party, at least one party for each side. They have a caucus and a primary. And in fact, they even have before that, even have it before the primary. They each have state conventions where the party can endorse a candidate, but that may not mean in Minnesota, at least they do that, and in North Dakota, but that may not mean that's who the voters pick, and ultimately the primary decides who the voters pick. But presidential years usually have one or the other, a caucus or a primary, not both.
As far as you know, is there a better turnout for a regular primary vote than there is a turnout for a caucus?
Yes. Yeah. Now, the cold weather probably dampened some of the turnout yesterday in Iowa, so there was only a little over 100,000 people. There'll be, even though, there's actually, I believe there's fewer people in New Hampshire. Many more people will vote next week in New Hampshire in the primary. Because it's just quicker. You go in, you vote, you leave. You don't have to hang around for however long it takes.
Dr. Barbara Headrick, thank you so much for joining us today. I wanted to ask a couple of more questions. We're running behind here. I just wanted to ask you about Doug Burgum.
You can just email them to me, Jack, and I'll send you the answers.
Thank you very much, Barb. Good to talk to you again.
Take care, Jack. Bye.
Dr. Barbara Headrick, MSUM Professor Political Science, here on the Drive Time News Hour at KFGO.